Hello everyone, this is Louis City again, and I'll be doing three book reviews of three books from the Hunger Games Trilogy series. So the Hunger Games Trilogy is a book series that in some colleges they use it as some sort of a political analysis book. They kind of like every time you're going to read this, people would ask you like how is it related to politics and stuff. Well, that's just what I observed, because it deals with dystopia, which is what that word is being heard when you attend political science classes. So, yes, in a way, there was some political issues that were talked about, like poverty, violence, abuse of power, and child abuse for me, or teenage abuse, since technically they're minors here in the story. So, first book would be The Hunger Games. So, in the beginning of the book, Katniss discussed like the situation of Panem, and when I read that, I felt really bad that it's like there's only one town who, or one district, I should say, who gets the abundance of life, and all the others are going to suffer hunger until the next Hunger Games will come. That's why it's called Hunger Games, I believe. So when I read that situation, I felt really sorry that teenagers have to fight each other to the point of killing themselves just for them to get abundance in their district. Like that's like too much in my opinion. Imagine if like these days we're going to be fighting each other off just for us to get some like $1 million or something. Now for the on-screen relationship, this reminded me of like reality TV shows these days where you have to pair up with each other either to get more sympathy or support. So yeah, it kind of is being reflected here in this book. So overall, it's a good start for me. I get hooked up to it. I got attached to reading it, and yeah, it's pretty enjoyable. So the next book, in my opinion, is like my least favorite because for me the pacing was quite slow and it focused more on the games. Because it's like if I were Katniss, I'd be like, oh my god, do I have to go through it again? That same turmoil and that ordeal of torturing people again and trying to save my life. But in this case, she wanted to save Peeta's life. But still, if it were up to me, I'd be like, no, no, thank you. I already won. So this is what happened in the Catching Fire. A lot of surprising twists also happened here, but it kind of reminded me more of the Goblet of Fire of Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling, about a Triwizard tournament where it focuses more. It's more of like live action, and yeah, for me the pacing of this book is quite slow, and yeah, as for the on-screen relationship, yes, it was still happening, and for me, well, with the past book, I thought like Gale and Katniss were really are going to be in love, and I actually like their team more. I don't know. I felt like theirs is more real. I'm not really a fan of like it was just compatible with one another. Anyway, but for me, it's still a good one. But with usually with those book series, like in the middle part where the pacing gets quite slower, somewhat kind of boring. Yeah, it happened here in Catching Fire. So for me, this is my least favorite, but it's still pretty good. I mean, least favorite. So last but not the least, and I'd have to say this is something like a book that is like make you going to be like, I'd like to call it politically angry. If you're going to compare it to like El Filibusterismo by Jose Rizal in the here in the Philippines, because now it talked about like the mysterious District 13 and the underground world, and it's now about really fighting. It's about the war already, and it kind of like made me sad the whole what happened to Peeta. And Peeta was quite weird here because of what happened when he was captured by the capital. Though with the past books, there were like so a lot of cliffhangers along the way. Like in the Hunger Games, yeah, they Peeta and Katniss ended up holding up each other, and then that's it. Like you don't know what's gonna happen next. And here it ended up like there's no District 12, as if like it did not exist, but apparently it was actually bombed. Spoiler alerts. I know. So here in the Mockingjay, yeah, it's discussed how like a person, because Katniss was so influential, which happens in real life, the power of like celebrities, how they can influence people. They can make people buy stuff or vote for stuff. And here in this book, it was illustrated in a way that Katniss is a very important person, and that her opinion and who should be the new leader of Panem matters and can affect people. And there are a lot of surprising twists here that you gotta read it yourself. That's really fun. And as for the love team of Peeta and Katniss, they ended up being real. Oh, I was for Team Gale anyway, but oh well, that's what Suzanne wants to write. So overall, this book is really deep and politically great. If you're gonna do some political analysis to it, it's gonna be a great book. So I guess that's it for me for now for the Hunger Games Trilogy book review series. Overall, the cliffhangers, the themes were discussed really well, and there's an in-depth thing. It's like what they say: if you read a book, it will make you reflect on some things of what's happening in your real life. Yeah, especially for some things in the Philippine setup for my fellow peoples. So, for you to see more of these stuff like book reviews and just some random things that I do, random videos that I do for fun and all that, kindly hit that subscribe button below that video, and also check out my LiveJournal account. It's louiscity.livejournal.com. Till next time for more book reviews and other stuff, so stay tuned. Bye bye!